Welcome. Sit down, roll up, pour up, turn up and tune in. Because you're now watching the Buncher Bull Network.
What up, what up, what up? Welcome to the world's dopest podcast, the Marley State of Mind podcast, down here at a Bunch of Bull Studios like we do every Saturday. And tonight, I got a special guest in the house with me, my man Mike Neal. What's good with you, bro?
What's up, bro?
How's it
going,
feeling, man?
Feeling good,
And I appreciate you joining me tonight. I know we've been talking about it for a minute.
Yeah, definitely.
Like I said, whenever I did this, you were one of the first people I thought of to have on. I know you got a lot of knowledge in the music, you know what I mean? A lot of knowledge and you know what makes what work, and I wanted you to drop some jewels for sure.
Hell yeah.
And, share some of that with the people, man, because people need that. You know what I mean?
Definitely, bro.
They need more than just the artist perspective. They need the people that make it move and shake perspective as well.
Definitely.
Now I usually like to kick this. What up, Griff? We'll see you. I usually like to kick this off by saying how I was introduced to the artist or creative I have on. But man, I've known you so long I can't even remember.
Bro, I met you. I met you when I first it was like when I first started
Yeah.
managing artists and all that.
Yeah.
Because I met you it was the Pittsburgh Underground Music Awards, and like that was probably like 2013?
Yeah, yep.
So that was like 12 years ago.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
and that's what I'm saying. It's been so long, and every time I see you, it's always love.
Mm-hmm.
And I always see you around because you're always active too. So I appreciate that, bro.
Definitely, bro.
Now,
Thank you for having me on here.
Yeah, hell yeah, man. It was necessary. We was gonna do that
For sure.
Now, for you, what was like your first steps into music? Like, what made you start getting involved in the music and management?
So I mean, when I started when I was in high school as an artist. So I started making music when I was in high school, and then after I was probably like 18, so it was right after I graduated high school, and that was whenever. So I knew Stoney.
Of course. Yeah.
I've known Stoney since I was like 16 years old, and at that time he was just starting to get into music, and he sent me like back on MySpace days.
Yeah.
Like he sent me these voice recordings that he had on his phone. And he was only like 15 at the time.
Right.
He sent me these voice recordings, and they were better than.
What was his name at that time?
He was going by his real name, Norman Dean.
Yeah, Norman Dean.
Yeah.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, we definitely had Stoney on. Make sure y'all check out that episode with Stoney, man. Norman Dean.
Yeah.
First time I heard of Stoney was on the Ivory, rest in peace to Ivory, Music Meltdown mixtape. He had a joint with Ivo on there that went stupid.
Yep. Ivory was one of the first people in the scene to really embraced us.
Yeah.
Ivory, Palermo Stone was one of the first ones too.
Yeah, hell yeah. What's up, P?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, P's supposed to be coming on too, man. Make sure you get down here, bro. We gotta that thing. We gotta get that thing smacking.
For sure, I'll send him this clip.
Yeah, hell yeah. So you link up with Stoney. How did that go? So were you guys doing music together at that time, or?
Yeah, we were. So I as soon as I heard those voice recordings he sent me, I was going to the studio like once a week at that time. So I was just like, bro, come to the studio with me, because he never went to a studio at that time. They were all recorded on his phone.
Right.
And those voice recordings were probably better than a lot of people's songs.
Right.
So yeah. I was like, yeah, you need to come to the studio with me. And then he came to the studio, and it was just like, since that first session, he was just going all the time.
Yeah.
It was just like frequent, and then he just became so immersed in it, you know?
Right. Now, when did you take a step back from doing the music and just getting into management? Stoney was your first artist, fair to say?
Yeah, definitely. It was pretty early. It was pretty early in his career, honestly, because things kind of started to like move faster with his career as soon as he really started getting out there. Like,
right.
He started performing shows. I started one of the first thing that I really started to do as management was like the blog era. You know what I mean? So I was just sending music to blogs all the time. Like every day I'd be finding new blogs and new websites to send music to, and that was what really kind of got him his original push in that, you know.
With the blogs.
Yeah, the blogs really embraced him, especially after like there was a lot of times where I would send a song, they wouldn't post it or respond or anything, and then maybe the third or fourth time I did, then they started doing it. So it was kind of like you kind of have to like work your way into certain things. So
What gave you the knowledge to know that like blogs were the way to go? What made you say to yourself like, damn, in order for us to be found? Hey Jess, can I get that flame from you one more time for my man?
Good look. I appreciate it.
I seen you want to put it down. I seen the disappointment in your face when you seen it go.
I appreciate it.
So what made you had a foresight to say to yourself like, let me get us into some blogs?
Oh, shit, my bad.
That's all good. I got it.
Sorry. Honestly, I just started seeing like the blogs be where people went to for new music.
Right.
And even like the smaller blogs. Like a lot of people would go to like smaller blogs to find like the artists that weren't coming. They weren't
in the
yet.
mainstream.
Yeah, they weren't mainstream, but they were coming up.
They were emerging.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Right.
So I would just find like a lot of those, and they really just all embraced them pretty quick, and also it's at another point we had like someone doing PR, so we started to get onto like the bigger blogs and stuff like that too, like Hot New Hip Hop.
You were starting to build a team at that point.
Yeah, exactly. And
now, what was it about Stoney? Like I know you said obviously the clips caught you right away. You're like, these clips are better than most people's music. What was it about him as an artist that intrigued you, that made you say, like, damn, I think we got something. Let me step to the side and try to, push him ahead, because it takes a lot, right? Especially if you're starting off as an artist. So many people want to be the man, and in the scene, and they don't want to play the role.
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of time was missing from a lot of good artists. They don't have people to play the role. Tossed it back to him.
Oh, good. Oh, good. They keep going out. That just go out quick.
Yeah, for sure they do. That's why we like him, right?
Yeah.
So what was it that you seen in Stoney that made you say, yeah, he's worth my effort. He's worth me putting my time into and stepping back and trying to make this happen.
Number one was at that time it was like bars were everything. You know what I mean? And he was just saying some things that I've never heard. Right. As far as like punchlines and stuff like that. So that was like the first thing, and also the fact that he was so new at it and so young, and the type of flows that he was coming up with and how fast he was progressing.
Right.
That was why one of the reasons why he was like the first artist that I managed. Yeah, it really made me believe in him.
You could tell by how young he was and how polished he was already.
Yeah,
for being that young, that the upside was just, it was there for him.
Mm-hmm.
So you're hitting the blogs, you're starting to build some traction with the blogs. You were a part of a blog at one point in time too, right? Is that?
Yeah,
accurate?
I was part of the Press Show blog, and also I used to co-host their. He had like it was like a radio show before podcast days. It was a radio show, like an online radio show, and I co-hosted a few episodes of that with him. I used to write for that blog too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun for sure.
How did you get into that? What made you started delving into that world of like blogging? I mean, obviously you had the interest and you knew the importance of it, but what made you delve into that world?
Honestly, I didn't even really think about it much at first, but the guy who owned the Press Show, VA, he's a wrestler now. He goes by Duke Davis.
Okay.
And yeah, shout out Duke Davis. But yeah, he brought me on there. He just saw that strength in me and was like, I want you to come on here and see how it does, as far as like the radio show and then also the blog too.
Yeah. He could see that you had potential. He knew from the way that you were approaching him that you were about your business.
Exactly.
All right.
Definitely.
Now,
that was my first opportunity with that. So shout out to him for sure.
Yeah, hell yeah. Shout out to those that give us our start, man. We can't forget where we came from.
Hell yeah.
Now, so you're getting into more of the management side. Were you calling yourself a manager at that time, or were you just doing the work of a manager?
I was doing the work of a manager. It wasn't like, I don't know. I was doing at first. I just kind of wanted to like help where I could, and then it just kind of fell into management,
Right.
Because at first I started with the blogs, and then I started booking him shows.
Right.
And that was whenever I kind of started more embracing the role of a manager.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, because the thing about hip-hop management, and I learned this from a very successful hip-hop manager, well, not even learned it, but he articulated it for me, because I couldn't figure out a way to put it into words, but he articulated it for me. He's like, there's no traditional way into management.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Most people that become managers are homies of the artists. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, there's no schooling for management.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to music. It's such an unorthodox business.
Uh-huh.
So with that being said, what were some of the things, as you started to find yourself getting into management, what were some of the things that you did to prepare yourself for that step, for that level of to get into management?
Honestly, just discipline. Like I had like at the time I was working a full-time job at a bakery. So it was like I would go to work, I would come home from work at like 5, 6 in the afternoon. Um, I would make my dinner, and then I would just immediately just get onto like online, looking up blogs, trying to find show opportunities, and I would say yeah, I would say it was just like the discipline and the routine that I put myself into that really kind of gave me a push at the beginning like that.
Did you have anyone that you can go to for advice during that time that was like in that space, or
Um,
someone who might have had an idea about that space at the time?
yeah, honestly, um, do you know Rami, who used to manage Palermo Stone?
Yeah, I do.
Uh
Yeah.
huh. Rami was like he helped me with a lot at the beginning and everything.
Yeah,
Taught me
he was heading the whole Rare Nation.
exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah. I learned a lot from him in the beginning for sure. And yeah, he was really the other than him back then. There really wasn't too many other people doing management.
in that
There was
space. Yeah.
Joanna. Joanna was
Yep.
doing management. Wasn't really too many at
For
that
Joey,
time.
Joey Fats.
Yeah.
She's doing management for Joey Fats.
Uh huh. And
Yeah,
I
for
think
sure.
Ricky P at one point too.
And Ricky P as well. Yeah, that's right.
Uh huh.
So now, what were some of the things that Rami was able to tell you that you were able to define success with, and you were able to help with whenever you were working with Stoney?
Um.
Or some of the things he showed you, even if he didn't tell you, what were some of the things that you seen him do that you found to be useful?
Um. Honestly, just professionalism. Like he always maintained professionalism,
Yeah,
and also just how to be patient.
yeah,
Like things. There was one thing that he told me, things might not come like right at the beginning,
right.
but it's like, I don't know. I kind of learned to take the small wins,
Right.
and I don't know. I'm
Appreciate
trying
those
to I'm trying
small
to figure.
victories.
Yeah, exactly. I'm trying to figure out how to word it.
No, I think one thing you said that is poignant is the professionalism aspect of it, because in the music
Uh-huh.
business and especially in hip hop, you find many people that have a lack of professionalism.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
when you are someone who has professionalism and you're approaching businesses and the people behind the scenes, they appreciate someone who's about their business
Mhm.
and who's a man of their word and who's going to be punctual on time. They're going to do the things that it is to be professional.
Exactly.
And when you make that type of impression, they're more inclined to do business with you moving forward.
Mhm.
And they might have friends in the space who ask about you. They might inquire, oh, how was it doing business with Mike and Stoney? Oh, it was
Exactly.
wonderful. I had a great experience. They were on time. They conducted themselves in a professional manner, easy to deal with, and that stuff travels, man. That stuff
Yeah.
goes a long way. I think a lot of times guys underestimate or undervalue like what professionalism can do for you,
For sure.
and how it can help your network. Because people also talk about you in a bad way if you're unprofessional, right?
Exactly. It's really all about first impressions. You know,
Yeah,
that first impression is big, and that it kind of directs how people look at you in the future. You know.
right. Yeah, no, I think that within itself is $1 million worth of game,
Mm-hmm.
and the fact that you were able to see Rami in that space and being professional and doing his thing,
Yeah,
and you were
definitely.
able to catch on to that and have the perspective like, yeah, that's what I need to be on.
Mm-hmm.
Appreciate you, Griff. But knowing that's what you had to be on, like that's the thing about it, bro. So
Definitely.
you're doing the blogs, you're getting heavily involved into the space. What did you find different from working behind the curtain, as opposed to being in front as an artist? What was the difference? What was the big transition for you from going from one to the other? What was the thing that you seen that you didn't see before?
Honestly, I didn't see before that I could make myself be that disciplined, to like get business done the way that I did.
Right.
And also, I mean, at that time, I was also kind of realizing that as an artist, I'm not the center of attention type of person. I don't
Right.
like to be the center of attention. And as an artist, that's a lot of times that's how it was.
Right.
So that was why one reason why I kind of switched towards
Fell
management.
back.
Yeah, but I did really like managing artists and learning new things about the music industry.
You
and
started to
getting-
become passionate about that.
exactly,
aspect of it. Yeah.
exactly, yeah.
For sure. No, I love that, man, because like I said, it takes a lot for people to not be the star of the show, right? It takes a lot for him not to be the main guy, but you need those people in the background to push you forth. And
Yeah, facts.
and we've seen it. You know, I've seen it for sure with people in success. You know, LeBron James is a good example of that. He had a lot of his homies around, and he was able to put them in position, you know, to where they can be successful on their own. They can have a podcast. They can be a sports agent. They can be this person and that person, and not be in the forefront, but they making plenty paper. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they're important in the role that they're in. You know what I mean? So it takes a lot of discipline, as you alluded to be the guy to say, yeah, I don't need that. I don't need that to be
definitely
to be who I am.
Yeah, yeah. And honestly, like, I mean, I didn't like to be the center of attention, but there was a lot of people that were like, I guess, like, interested in like artist management at the time, and even just like over the years, people that were interested in artist management that like they would come to me for advice and stuff on how to get into that. You know what I mean? That's a very like it's a humbling thing. Yeah. You know, so it's cool. It's cool to see others pick up an interest in something because they saw you do it.
You're becoming a role model for those individuals.
Exactly.
Yeah, hell yeah. Now, so you said you were becoming more disciplined. That was one of the things that you credit to you being successful in that space. What were some of the other things that you were learning that helped you to be successful in that space? Like if somebody's watching now and they want to get into music management, what are some of the things that you learned early on that helped you be successful? What were some of the things that you tried out that you thought would be good but wasn't so good?
Well, first of all, I would say like a lot of times paying for show opportunities that's one thing that I started to learn early. Like we've had like you ever heard of like the like there will be shows where like the promoter won't even really like promote the show, and they'll charge an artist like $500 for a slot. Right. You know what I mean? But like I would say if you're gonna pay for a slot, make it like an artist that people know. You know people are gonna be there in the crowd to see it, like a bigger artist. Right. If you're opening for that artist and there's a crowd there, there's a more that's more beneficial than
it's an investment at that point.
Yeah, exactly. But I would say getting into artist management, I would say learn as many things as possible. Because how I kind of got into it, I kind of just filled as many shoes as I could at once. Like as far as marketing, booking shows, things like that. And now, I mean, there's even a lot more you have to know, like TikTok and short form content and all that.
Yeah, the digital aspect of it.
Yeah, exactly. But I would say just try to learn as much as possible, not just in artist management, but also in other fields too, because that'll also help you within artist management. Right. Like I said, over the years, I've learned to be a digital marketer, tour manager, booking agent, all that. Right. Sometimes you got to fill multiple shoes.
No, I definitely want to expound upon the point of what you said, paying for shows and making sure that the investment makes sense.
Yeah.
That's a big one. You know what I mean? Because I see a lot of guys out here who put on shows and it's just a money grab for those guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
They put on these things and make it seem like it's a great opportunity for the artists. But meanwhile, it's just a way for them to fatten their pockets. And for upcoming artists who don't know any better, they're just looking for an opportunity to stage somewhere where they can be heard on. And they'll pay these opportunities, and they'll have like, we'll have special guest so and so there to give you an opportunity to do this. And meanwhile, you know, the money that you're paying these guys, you can just go to those guys directly and get the advice or whatever you think you may get from them. Exactly. So I think it is important that we expound upon that, because it is important to understand exactly what you're putting your money towards.
For sure.
Now, if you're doing music as a something that you really want to take serious, you want to make it your profession, you have to invest your money wisely, and you have to make sure it is an investment. That's what I always say to artists, right?
Exactly.
Like if you're doing something, you should expect a return on what you're doing. So if you're doing a show, to your point, and it's $500 to open up for NBA YoungBoy, that's a great investment, because you can shout out your socials, you know, you can sell your merch there, and you're going to make your money back. You know, you're not only are you going to make your money back, it's going to come back and it's going to flip for you. You're going to make additional. You're going to get followers who are going to know who you are now. But if you're paying $500 for a show, and like you said, the promoter's not promoting it. Yeah, you're bringing your friends. You're going to bring anyway with you. You know, what is your $500 really getting you? Yeah. Besides a place to do a stage, And most venues, you can pay for yourself.
Yeah,
If
exactly.
you're doing your due diligence, right?
Yeah, and that's another thing also. Like, at one point we started throwing our own shows,
Right.
and that's like the money you would put towards an opportunity to like, well, not an opportunity to open for a bigger artist, but like the money you would be spending for like a slot on like a local show, you could rent a venue yourself
Right.
and book all the artists and charge $10-15 at the door and make more money back.
Make more money back.
Whereas like if you're paying for a slot on a local show, that like if you're paying $500 for a slot on a local show, you're probably not going to make that money back
Right. Exactly.
unless you're selling like a crazy amount of merch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the thing about it. Like artists, managers, anybody who's getting into music, man, make sure that you're aware, and make sure that these opportunities are worthwhile. You know what I mean? Don't do these things just because you need a place to understand it, but also make sure it makes sense for you and your brand and what you're doing. You know what I mean? You don't want to take the opportunity just because the opportunity's there. They have, so and so celebrity there. Those things, those celebrities aren't really there to give you an opportunity. They're there to get their check and go. So you have to really evaluate these things, make sure it's worthwhile, make sure it's worth putting your money into, and make sure that you can get a ROI, get a return on your investment.
Yeah.
And whatever it is you're doing. If you're getting a video, you're putting money into that, it's because you're expecting to get something back in return. If you're paying for a feature, make sure the feature makes sense. You can get your money back for that. So,
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm glad you touched on that because it is
For sure.
important to make sure you know what you're spending your money on. That's $1 million worth of game within itself.
Yep. Definitely.
sure.
Definitely, bro.
So you're doing the blogs, you're booking the shows. When is it that you notice, like, man, I got a knack for this management thing? Was there a certain thing that took place? Was there a certain opportunity that came about that made you feel like I'm gonna take this a little bit more serious? Because you went on from management to working with major labels, different things like that. What was that turning point for you? Where you seen like, yeah, this is kind of my thing?
I would say around like 2014 to 2016, because at that point, the first thing was I got Stoney booked for a show at the House of Blues in Cleveland. That was his first out of town show.
Yeah.
And so that was like the first thing that I was like, yeah, I could do some pretty dope stuff, And then
how'd you make that come about, the out of town opportunity?
that was, so I signed up for like an email list with like a bunch of different like venues and promoters, and that was actually an opportunity that I got through email.
Nice.
Yeah, definitely. And it was we got to go to Cleveland. He performed at the House of Blues, and that was his first out of town show. And then that was, like I said, that was the first thing that made me really be more confident in myself in this. And then I started getting more into like learning digital marketing too. And then I would say around 2016 was whenever I started doing digital marketing, and that was whenever everything kind of like got more serious. Things took off in that end. I mean, with digital marketing, I'm completely like self-taught.
Yeah, so that's a good thing I wanted to get into as well going into this, because when you first started, it wasn't as digital. Like you said, you and Stoney were MySpace days, so it wasn't really the internet, and that hustle was different, right? It wasn't what it is now. It's not like the TikTok era and stuff that we know now. The digital marketing, the algorithm wasn't as important as it is now, right? Was it tough to make that transition in management when the digital age came about? Was it difficult for you to make that pivot? Was it difficult for you to make that understanding of, okay, that was the way we're doing it, this is the way we're doing it?
Not really, because I at that time I was actually starting to learn ads. So it was like as soon as that became like the like
norm.
Like Instagram and all that, I was already learning it. So it kind of just like fell into place at that time. And then I mean, even every change after that, I kind of try to stay ahead of the trends. You know what I mean? Like with streaming, I was real big on Spotify promotion early.
Which is gold, right?
Yeah, definitely. And even with TikTok, I was pretty early on TikTok too, but I don't think anybody really realized the capacity that TikTok was gonna be, like the capacity of importance that it is to the industry, the music industry.
What up, Kev? We see you. Says shout out to Stoney. That's his guy for sure.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, no, that's and the digital age was crazy, and it moved things so far ahead. It moved things so it pushed things so far ahead, like where we didn't even think that they would go, and it made things a lot more accessible as well, right?
Yep.
It
Yep.
made opportunities a lot more accessible. Now you can just email an
Definitely.
artist that you couldn't get your hands on without having to go through a third party.
Exactly. Exactly.
Did you whenever you were making that curve, into the digital age, did you have any idea that it would be able to move that fast?
Honestly, nah, no, not really.
Yeah.
It was like it kind of. I mean, I feel like I had an idea, but not to the capacity. You
Right.
know,
Yeah.
it was like
You can only see this much of it.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Like I think it's kind of hard to predict how things play out like that.
Right.
But I think you can get a gauge on it like from the beginning. Like I said with TikTok, I don't think anybody realized that TikTok was gonna be that as important for the music industry as it is now when it first came out. But um, people definitely realized that it has some type of importance as far as like marketing music.
Right.
But I don't think people realized that it was gonna be the way people found music in
Right.
2024, 2025.
Yeah, and so often that's how people do find music.
Yep.
Like Tommy Richmond's a great example.
Yep. Yep. Exactly.
He was pushing that song for a long time, and then once it hit where it hit on the algorithm, then boom, here he is.
Yeah, what's crazy is I actually knew a few artists that they're from Virginia. They knew Tommy Richmond before he blew up. So it's crazy to see like things come together like that, you know?
Yeah, full circle moments. So for me as an artist, what's the thing that I can do to help my digital footprint? What's the thing that I can do to just right away, something I don't have to spend a lot of money on? What's one thing I can do, or a couple things I can do to increase my digital footprint?
I would say short form content. Just I would come up with say like if you have like an EP or something, say like four or say like five songs, do multiple pieces of content for each song. And I mean, you can run ads. Running ads on it is that's always a way to promote, and it's always a good way to promote. But even if you don't, the algorithm sometimes might just pick things up.
Might just catch it.
Exactly. And even if it doesn't really catch on, you'll always get a few people that haven't heard your music before that see it, you know?
Right.
So I would say short form content. And I mean, some Spotify playlists are still free if you submit, but
Right.
Spotify I feel like it kind of moved away from Spotify playlisting. But yeah, I would say short form content is the way to go these days.
Yeah,
I've seen so many songs catch from just the TikTok algorithm, you know.
Yeah, for real. What up, Perp? It's glad to see everybody in the house tonight, man. I'm glad to see y'all checking in with us on the world's dopest podcast,
Hell
the
yeah.
Marley State of Mind podcast, down here at the Bunch of Bull Studio. If y'all just tuning in, I got my man Mike Neal, digital marketing genius, fucking music management. Man wears many hats, and he's going to drop some jewels on us tonight. Already has.
Hell
So
yeah.
if y'all tuning in, appreciate y'all tuning in, especially you artists and people trying to get into management. This would be good for you. While we are there, tell the people how to get a hold of you on social media. If they want to follow your journey, they want to get a hold of you, maybe get some advice, or they want to talk to you about management. What's the best way to the people to find you?
You can find me on Facebook. Just type in Mike Neal, Neal is our last name spelled. You can find me on Instagram, Spike Campion, SPIKE.CAMPEON.
For sure, man.
Yep.
World's dopest podcast. We're here with my man Mike. So you getting into music management, you guys are finding this opportunities. You get the out of state shows. You're really starting to dig into it now.
Mm-hmm.
Did you pick up more artists along the way?
Yeah.
How did that go? Like what are you starting to do now? After that point of getting those shows and digging into the blogs.
So at that time we had Team Epic. So we kind of had like a real team around us, and we had a couple people that were doing management, myself and a few others, and we had a few producers, and then we had artists. The artist that we had was Stoney, and we also had Space Jam Jiff. He goes by Big Hef now. We also had
Space Jam Jiff for sure.
yeah, hell yeah, and We also have my boy Devon King. He's from New York. And then Khan, he's from the DMV area. Khan actually went viral. He's actually pretty big underground right now.
That's what's up.
Yeah, he was on he was on Snoop's last album. He was on Exhibit's last album.
Yeah.
He works with Dr. Dre real heavy.
Yeah.
For real? I worked with him like real early. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's what's
back
up,
in his
man.
SoundCloud days.
That's crazy, right?
Yep.
How does it make you feel to see the success that the artists that you work with have been able to gain thus far? A lot
Man,
of
it's
these
like
guys that you worked with have made names for themselves.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, honestly, it's like nothing but pride. Like I'm like with Khan, it kind of blows me away to see how many people really like show love to him and listen to his music now. Cause Khan, like I said, Khan's a good dude. I still consider him a friend and everything. And his career kind of like really took off.
Yeah.
Just
you got to
on
watch
its
come
own.
up. Yeah.
Exactly. And it was like, I was there from like the beginning when he first started going viral on SoundCloud and watched everything, you know.
Now, with that being said, one of the things I like to ask guys like yourself who are behind the scenes and, you know, some of the tastemakers and stuff like that, what are the things that you see from artists that make it compared to the artists that don't make it? What is it that the artists that make it have that the ones that don't make it don't have? Aside from talent, from talent itself, because there's a lot of artists who are super talented that still don't get that break.
For sure.
What's the difference that you see?
I would say just work ethic, honestly. Work ethic and willingness to learn the industry. Because there's a lot of artists that come in the industry that they don't know the business, and I mean, it's not always the artist's responsibility to learn the business,
right.
But I feel like today it's more important than it was,
and it's accessible, right?
Exactly.
There's no reason not to.
Because I always feel like if you know what you're getting yourself into, you're gonna end up in a way better situation.
100%.
Like, because if a label, I mean, you could always get like an entertainment lawyer, but if you know how to read a contract yourself, you know what I mean, you could negotiate anything you want,
right, and save yourself a ton of money along the way, right?
Yep. As long as you have the leverage to negotiate, you know. Yep.
So you think of course hard work, you said, is one of the things, and knowing your business.
Yeah.
Any other thing.
Yeah, definitely. Also knowing your sound and what your fans want to hear.
Knowing your demographic.
Exactly.
Know who you're playing to, right?
Yep.
You think that's a thing that holds a lot of people back, not understanding their fan base?
Yeah, definitely. Because you'll see, like, I mean, you do see some artists that like they have success in like multiple genres and stuff, but I feel like they always, even if they make music in multiple genres, they always have like that one similar
defining sound.
Yeah, exactly. Like Juice WRLD, for example. Like he like made music in multiple different genres and even like cross genres on songs, you know what I mean? But he always knew who his fans were.
Right.
You know, he always knew who he was making music for.
Right. I think you could say the same for like a Post Malone as well.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah,
even
definitely.
though he goes cross genres, he always sticks to. We know what Post Malone sounds like.
Yep. Yeah. Exactly.
No, that's good advice, man, for sure.
For sure.
And I think the hard work aspect of it is another thing that people take for granted, right? They think it's just going to fall in their lap. They think if they make a couple posts here and there, that's just going to fall in their lap. Not knowing that you got to continue to do the work no matter what. Even when you do see those little shades of success, you still got to keep grinding.
Exactly.
Make it happen for yourself, because a lot of it is luck, but a lot of it is also putting yourself in a position to be lucky. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Putting yourself in the right places to be lucky.
Being in the right places, being in the right rooms, even just like networking with the right people. You know. Social media changed the game when it came to networking.
Yeah. How have you found it to change the game for you?
I mean, honestly, like, see, I was nervous to do this, like, right off, like, whenever I first started, I was nervous to like reach out to people on social media and stuff.
Right.
But the first time that I really did that and something actually came from it, I reached out to Glasses Malone when he came to Pittsburgh. And it was like 2014, 2015, maybe around that.
Yeah.
And I reached out to him. I saw that he was in Pittsburgh. He was actually doing it was like a fundraiser, I think, with
Okay.
OE outside of Langley, and I went to school at Langley.
Yeah.
So I saw that he was there, and I messaged him. I asked him how much for the feature, and he gave me a good price and everything. Linked that up, sent me the verse like the next day for Stony, and yeah, it was that was like the first time that I tried that, and something actually came from
Yeah,
it.
bear fruit. Yeah.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, that's fire. I fuck with Glasses Malone for sure.
Mhm. For
You
sure.
had the Tupac Should Die song, which is
Yeah.
very dope. Y'all should check that out. I learned a lot from that song. Um, yeah, no, that's fire. I think it is important to make sure that you reach out to people and don't be afraid to reach out to those individuals.
Exactly.
My
Yeah.
brother once told me the only thing that changes anything is a yes. So even if
Mhm.
they say no, you're in the same position you was prior to them saying no.
Yep.
So why not, shoot your shot and try to see what happens from it? Because if you get that yes, that might be all it takes.
Yep.
You
Exactly.
know what I mean? You can put
exactly.
out a thousand, fillers, and that one yes might change it.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, no,
For
for
sure.
sure. No, I think in the digital age, it's such a crazy one. It's so hard to keep up with because things are always changing. Like you said, short form content has become king, and like you said, putting out, multiple things for one song or one project. I've seen people do it and find success with it. It seems like the big movement now is that short form content.
Yeah. Definitely.
For material.
Definitely.
Now, whenever you're looking for artists, or whenever you were looking for artists to manage, what were the things that made artists appeal to you?
Um. Honestly, talent is the number one. Uh, I would look to see if they have like image too,
Mm-hmm.
like if they really had people gravitating towards them
Right.
on social media, at shows, stuff like that,
Yeah.
and also just like how they handle social media, like
Mm.
how they network, how they engage with fans, because that's a major thing too, and that
Right.
like showing like your personality on social media, I feel like always brings more fans in and gets more people interested. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It gets more people interested in the artists themselves.
It's one of those things that are necessary, right?
Yep. Yep.
Like you can't do without it in today's
Mhm.
music climate, especially as an independent artist.
Yeah. Definitely.
You have to have that presence
Yeah. Exactly. Presence.
for sure. Now, what are some of the things that you? Because like I said, you've done the label things, you've done you've done the blog things. What are some of your favorite things to do in all these many hats that you wear? Is it the music management? What is your favorite thing to do when it comes to music? What are you the most passionate about?
I never thought about that, honestly. I would say like maybe marketing, because it's like you have to think creatively when it
Mhm.
comes to marketing. You have to think like what's like when it comes to like designing an ad, you have to think of like what catches the eye whenever you're coming up with a release strategy. Like you have to come up with things that people are gonna be excited about. You know what I
Right.
mean? So I would say like marketing, A&R also, because like some of that also goes in, like album preparation goes into A&R category also, but also A&R, I like scouting for artists too.
Yeah.
I love finding new artists.
Yeah. Now, for those who may not know, what is the responsibility of an A&R? Because people probably see it often, but really don't understand
Yeah.
the responsibility of an A&R and the importance of an A&R.
Yep.
So people who are watching who may not know, could you explain a little bit more about that?
Definitely. So A&Rs, I mean, at labels, A&Rs have multiple different there's different types of A&Rs. There's A&R scout, which is who scouts the talent, who signs the talent. A&R coordinators. A&R coordinators kind of help the artists like with getting the like project management. Like they'll help artists gather.
Curate the project.
Exactly. Like
Yeah.
they'll like say if there's a specific producer that the artist wants to work
Mhm.
with, they'll link them with that producer, specific engineer, even
Features.
yeah, features, all the way down all the way down to like the release of the album too, like setting up the marketing and
The rollout.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, for sure. And that is an important role. Now, what is it that you enjoy? Because, I mean, it brings you back to your roots of music management
Mm.
whenever you're doing the A&R scouting. What is it what is it that you look for whenever you're seeing artists? I guess you kind of did allude to that, though. I don't want to be redundant. You said that you like the charisma, you like the talent, of course, being one of the most important
Definitely.
things, and being involved in the digital aspect. So we'll scratch that. We won't get into that too much. So when you're doing those things and you're wearing these many hats, do you find it difficult to spread yourself that thin?
Sometimes,
Yeah.
sometimes. I just kind of try to. I don't know. I try to focus on one thing at a time,
Yeah.
but also keep the tasks that I have to do after, like, keep the tasks that I have to do after in mind, but focus on one thing at a time.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Um, it's easy. It's definitely easy to get confused, or just mix everything up. You know what I mean? But I just kind of I become a pretty organized person when it comes to like the artists that I work with, and uh, distribution and management and all that, and marketing.
Yeah, no, and it's an important thing. Like I said, it's so many times people want to be the star,
Mm-hmm.
but don't want to do the dirty work and the things behind it. And
Yep.
sometimes you don't even know how or where to start. So it's good to have people like you in that space who have an idea for these up and coming artists, so they don't get taken advantage of,
Definitely.
and they can kind of get their foot in the door. And I'm glad to see you here, man. How you healing? I know you.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm healing pretty good. I just had a doctor's appointment yesterday. It was my 8-week appointment,
Yeah,
and I took my first steps in 8 weeks. So
good.
yeah,
Good
so
shit,
I'm
bro.
starting to heal up. I got physical therapy on October 6th. I start that, and I
Okay.
got to do that for 6 to 9 months.
Yeah,
Yep.
I know you said. I know you were inspired to come on the show afterwards.
Yeah.
After
Yeah,
everything
definitely.
happened, you
Well, I
hit me
mean,
up.
I
You're
was
like, I
just
got
I
a
was
story to tell, man. I'm ready.
yeah, I was just like, yeah, I got the time, you know.
Let's
So
make it happen.
yeah, for sure.
For sure. No, now, for me, bro, like I said, I always see you around. I see you, promoting events. I see you around the artists, and I see you doing so much, man. And I just wanted, like I said, thank you for being able to be that for these different artists, being able to be that
I appreciate
for the
that.
city, because we
sure.
need that. We need more of that.
Definitely.
Now, what can we look forward from you coming up, as far as this goes? What are you working on currently? What can we expect to see from you?
Right now I'm working on so I manage Landon Thomas right now.
Yeah.
I'm helping him with his marketing and his like business side and rollouts and stuff. And also I'm working with sorry.
Yeah.
I'm working with an artist out of Detroit. His name's Fats.
Okay.
I've been working with him for a while, so we're just kind of getting some releases under his belt, and then we're gonna start putting marketing and all that, turn everything up for him. And also, I'm trying to start getting back into throwing shows now too. I haven't thrown a show in about 3-4 years,
Yeah.
so I'm thinking about getting back into throwing like events and stuff. I like to throw, like, whenever I throw an event, I kind of don't like to like put it out there much that I'm like
The one
good.
throwing the event.
No, that I'm gonna be throwing an event, because I kind of like to curate the lineup.
Okay.
I like to pick the artists on there, like, who kind of blends together. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? As far as like musically, I like to have a curated show.
That's what's up.
Definitely.
And that's important. I think people undervalue what that means and what that does. And it's good not only for the artists,
Mm-hmm.
but it's good for the people coming to see it, right?
Exactly.
Because they're not
exactly.
sitting through things that they don't want to sit through.
Yeah, definitely.
And you're not doing the artists any favors by having them do that, because it's not their fan base.
Mm-hmm.
This way you can get people who are like-minded, who have, some musical resemblance, all in the same room, and you can grow each other's fan base from
Exactly.
your fan base. So that's a smart way to go about it.
Exactly.
What made you decide that you wanted to get back into that space, doing promotions and throwing shows?
Honestly, I just kind of missed it.
Yeah.
Whenever I used to throw events whenever I was the manager at Ethic.
Yep.
On Carson.
Yep.
That place kind of gave me like that place just kind of gave me like a venue to use whenever I wanted.
There's a lot of dope events there too.
Yeah, for sure. So it was like I could throw my own events there. I could book other people's events there, and it was kind of like a no-brainer, because like we would make the events free most of the time.
Yep.
And people would come in. They'd see they would spend money on clothing and accessories and stuff like that.
So it was a win-win situation.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and it was a prime location too, because you're talking about Pittsburgh,
Right on
South
Carson. Yeah.
Side, right before Southside got weird.
Yeah. Exactly.
And it was a lot of popping events that happened there. I remember,
uh
and you'll get a lot of foot traffic that way too,
Yeah.
because of where you're at.
For sure. For sure.
Some spaces you don't get that foot traffic because people aren't really traveling,
Mm-hmm.
those roads. But you're right there on Carson Street, the main area.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
easy to get that foot traffic of people just, oh, what's this? I see a whole bunch of people lined up
Facts.
here.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Yeah.
That was a dope time and a dope era, man.
Definitely. And
Definitely missed that.
ethic definitely helped me. Just being affiliated with that company helped me get like opportunities with like music stuff.
Right.
Like there's artists that are like pretty big in Philly and Jersey and stuff like that that I've reached out to after that, and like they've followed me on Instagram, and just from being affiliated with that company.
Right.
Sometimes a couple of times I went out to Philadelphia to their warehouse, and I've met like artists out there,
Yeah. No, that's fire, and I think that's another thing that you've done well is be able to use your resources, like let one hand wash the other. You let your management work into your A&R,
Yep.
let your digital marketing working into this area,
Exactly.
and being able to use these things to add leverage to the other thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's another thing, like I said about wearing thin. You don't allow it to wear you thin because you use them as tools for each other.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
a good
Exactly.
approach.
Exactly. That's a perfect way to put it.
Yeah. No, I like that, man. I love it. We're definitely going to be on the lookout for whatever you got coming up in the future, man.
For sure.
I'm glad I finally had you down.
Definitely.
For this, before we get you out of here, one more time, how can the people get a hold of you if they want to follow your journey? They're interested in what you're doing. They want to see some of the artists that you have going on. Maybe they want to be a part of some of the shows you got coming up. How do they find you?
You could find me on Facebook. Just type in Mike Neal. You can find me on Instagram, Spike Campion, spelled SPIKE.CAMPEON. You could also, I'm gonna be starting to do content too, so you could subscribe to my YouTube. It'll be under No Blueprint, NOBLUPRNT.
What type of content you about to come up with?
Honestly, bro, I want to do like travel content, but also incorporate like music into it. Like I want to travel to different places and like kind of find my way into the local music scene, meet artists, find like shows and studios, stuff like that.
What brought this about for you? What made you think to
honest
that journey?
So like ever since I've had the time just being injured and everything, I've been watching a lot of travel content.
Okay.
And that's just kind of one, like I thought about doing travel content, and I just kind of like, that's just one thing I figured I could do to like personalize it towards what I do.
Right.
And also my boy Sean K, he's an artist from Cleveland. He's based out in LA, but he actually just started doing travel content, and it's kind of similar. The idea that I have is kind of similar to what he does, but he goes to he's been to like Southeast Asia, and he finds artists in like these little guitar shops and stuff, and he finds his way around people that make music in wherever country he goes to, and I think that's
not
really
even
dope.
necessarily hip hop, just music in general.
Yeah, exactly.
That's fire.
Mm-hmm.
No, I like that, man. I'll definitely be looking forward to that, and everything you got going on, man. If you want to push some stuff, we're here for you.
Hell
Down
yeah,
here at
for
the
sure.
Bunch of Bull Studios, the Marley State of Mind podcast, the world's dopest podcast.
Hell yeah.
Man, anytime you want to come down, I'm glad we finally got you down.
Definitely.
To
I
do
appreciate
this.
you having me.
Yeah, hell yeah, bro. Anytime. We'll be here next week with another amazing guest, as we are every week. Make sure you tune into the Bunch of Bull Studio and all of our podcasts we have going on. But until then, we're out of here.